Hello, 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 and welcome, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your true love reading for July 2020, or Timeless. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, and Leo Rising. Yay! Welcome back, my subscribers, my followers, and all that jazz. Oh, thank you so much for helping me on my YouTube journey, my Leo Rising creativity and good fortune YouTube journey here. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the reading. If you're new to my channel, please do consider liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, and commenting, as it helps people see my work. There you have it. You know, I don't have kids to unwrap presents for you, so I'm actually working hard for you, Virgo, that I am. Cool. This is a timeless reading, like I said, but we're looking at the path of true love for you, doing this in July 2020, but whenever you watch it, path of true love is your spiritual path, your healing path, your hero's journey, your path of evolution, whatever you want to see it, but seeing it through the lens of your relationships, not just the sexual romantic ones, or those are the ones everybody wants to know about. We are certainly looking at all of the different relationships, what you are learning from them, how you are growing from them, all on the path as you go, all divinely guided, divinely designed, and all that. But it's nice to have some clues, some tips, some hints along the way from some divinatory GPS, right? So we're going to have an eagle eye view with the Celtic cross spread. So just keep in mind, this is a general read. Please take what resonates, leave what does not, even though it is a Celtic cross spread, which is technically 10 positions, but I'm giving you 24 cards. So do check your other signs as well. You're looking for clues, tips, and hints. I love the Celtic cross spread. It's really good for journey, which is why the path of true love reading is really best done this way. But, you know, with upload times being what they've been, I've only been able to put out like 2 of the longer reads a day. So well, I'll do the best that I can to get as many of them done in a timely manner. Otherwise, all you got to do is breathe, right? Feel what resonates. Kick out what doesn't, move on, right? Cool. And I will do the best on my end to stay in the present moment, getting you the guidance and grace that may be truly helpful. Cool. All the decks that I read are in the description box all the way at the bottom. We're starting with one Carolyn May's archetype card for you. I'll explain it as I go. Cool. Let's do this. Breathe. Yeah, the moon's in Pisces right now, and I'm a Pisces moon, so I am feeling it all right now, so please, hello, good morning, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Can you please give me one card for either representing this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, or someone that they're dealing with, or a situation that they find themselves in on the path of true love. This July 2020 or timeless, whenever they're watching it, really for this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What is the dominant soul power that is being alchemized from lead to gold, that's being healed from shadow to light, that's being awakened from illusion into truth, whether it's the Leo themselves, someone that they're dealing with, or the situation that they're in, or maybe all of those things, or parts of, please, what is the dominant, there we go, soul power. And we are looking at the dilettante archetype. Had a feeling it was going to be a member of the creative family, and it is. The creative family of archetypes are a bunch of them, the artist being sort of like the major arcana of it, if you want to look at it. But I like the dilettante archetype. It has a negative connotation in common parlance, although you don't hear it that much anymore. It's sort of like a dabbler, right? Like, don't be a dilettante of the magical arts. Study. Know what you're doing, right? It's like playing with knives. But in terms of creative energy, this is lovely. Now, keep in mind there's a shadow and a light. So if this is you, understand that the path of true love is about you trying to heal this, alchemize it a little bit. The shadow attribute being the toxic, right? Pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. And that can be in any context, not just creative, because you're actually creating a story. You're creating a pretense, right? So you can get the creativity of that. But I love the light attribute. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional. right? Delights in the arts without having to be professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So if this is you, dabbler, then you know, be aware of it. It's okay in the light. Like, for instance, I never want to be a chef. I don't need to chop carrots that fast. Thank you very much. I've got a ninja who does it, right? But I love to cook, right? So the culinary arts, right? I am a dancer. I used to be a professional dancer way back in the 80s, but now that I'm in my 50s, I still love to jam around the house, right? So I have a lovely little touch of this dilettante archetype in terms of performing arts or visual. You do not want me to, I can't do visual arts for poo. Doing it on YouTube, I have to use that word. I can't even draw a straight line with pencil, paper, and a ruler stapled to the table. I can't make a straight line. So I got this one. So whether this is you, another person on the path of true love, need not be romantic, sexual, or a situation you find yourself in, maybe a relationship in general that has that sort of dabbly feel to it. One more card before we get your Celtic cross down, which is just such a great spread for this work. We're going to get you a healing with the angel oracle card. What is the angel sort of walking with you on the path this month to help you with this dilettante archetype and anything else that's going on? Breathe. Oh, my angels and my archangels, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. Please, one card in clarity. This is specifically for this Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for July 2020 are timeless. Please, what is the angel that walks with them? The angel, the healing angel from the healing angel oracle that they can call upon. Because the call has to come from us, right? So I see the hand being extended. We have to actually reach and take the hand. So what is the hand for this Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, path of true love, July 2020 are timeless? Divine timing. So you might as well dabble, right? In divine timing. If it's you, like, this is going to, for some of you, this is going to be you. For some of you, it's going to be somebody in your relationship with. Could be a family member. Keep that in mind. Doesn't have to be romantic, sexual. Could be a situation a whole bunch of you are in. So in the divine timing, I mean, it does kind of say hang out and wait. Hurry up and wait. Little Blondie moment for you there. But divine timing, it's not like divine timing is only in certain things. Divine timing just is. Everything's in divine timing because everything's part of the quantum divine plan. And that's why you can try to speed things up and get really, really impatient and frustrated when it doesn't unfold. Which is why it happens when you least expect it. That's surrender for you. I didn't write that rule. I wouldn't have written that rule. If anybody knows me personally, they're like, no, he would not have put that clause in the contract. Now! A little impatient. I'm like mostly mutable signs. Breathe. I don't mind change so much as long as I like it. I'm also Leo rising. Can you tell? Breathe. And I call upon my gods and my goddesses, both the divine masculine and divine feminine, to please speak through this deck. We are going to please my gods and goddesses. Celtic cross spread. For this Leo collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for July 2020 or timeless. I'll pull these one at a time. Face down, please. First card down. What is the card that covers this Leo on the path? What crosses them on the path? What's at the core of the path for them right now? What's behind them on the path? The cards are very flippy this morning. What crowns them? Ooh, that one I almost had. What crowns them on the path? What is before them on the path? What is the lesson on the path? What? How does the world see the path from the outside looking in? Horizontal. Ooh, I felt that one. Horizontal trajectory, please. How does the world see this? Yep. What is their destiny at the current moment, or the opportunity to create? Where are they on the hero's journey to create destiny from fate? And what is their outcome, at least this timeline of this lifetime, the most probable outcome, July 2020 or timeless. Okay. We got them down. Now, like I said, there was going to be 24 cards. Right now we have 12. We've got the 10 of the Celtic cross and your your archetype and your angel card. What we're going to do is do these one at a time, but we are going to clarify each one with a Chuck Spezzano Love Pack card. The Chuck Spezzano Love Pack has 4 suits. The Problem, the Luck, the Healing, and the Grace suits. The deck is stacked. Half of them are the suit of the problem, because it's good to know what problems are in relationships or on the path, etc., right? Like a diagnostic in a way. Good to know, right? Little crack in the windshield, good to know about it. So let's have a look-see-duck-see, the voices of the Ascended Masters. Here we go. And yes, of course, the Ascended Masters and the gods and goddesses get along. They're just on different vibrational parallels. That's all, different dimensional parallels. Same essential light and truth and all that jazz. Breathe. Here we go. My Ascended Masters, please help me clarify this as we turn the first card. What covers this Leo on the path of true love, July 2020? 2 of Pentacles, Balance, the Bull Leapers. These women who would run at the bulls, grab them by the horns, and flip over them, which might very well be where the term grab the bull by the horns comes from. Probably not, though. That sounds very American. I'm pretty sure this is Spain, if I remember the history correctly on this. I'm like this with my memory nowadays. Very present moment. Like, they don't tell you, yeah, all this zen and being in the present moment totally wipes out your long-term memory, but that's okay. Worth it. The 2 of Pentacles, like the running of the bulls of Pamplona, that you're getting yourself into balance, right? Which means, you know, you've probably been a little out of balance. Who hasn't been out of balance these past few months, right? Particularly as a Leo, you want to go out and do things, right? Meet people and touch stuff. So, my Masters, what is the card that clarifies? Okay, you're balancing a loss, problem card, but look, is loss a problem, or is loss just part of life, right? The turning of the seasons, right? Every time the sun goes down, which technically it doesn't, we rotate, it doesn't. It's all the day is lost. No, it'll come again, right? But here, the vibe on the card, though, there is some heartbreak here. You lost someone. I can feel it. You can't really see it in the card unless you're familiar with the deck, but there's a cutout where his heart used to be, and his heart is back here on the path. So when we get to that 4th position, what's behind you, we'll see what that's about. But I could see that it's like you're dealing with a loss, you're balancing. Now, is this a loss recently, from 100 years ago, a past life? Who the hell knows? But we'll keep going and see what this is about. Again, it's a general reading. Some of you could lost somebody earlier today, others of you 10 years ago, and you're still balancing this. And grieving takes time. It just does. What is the situation that you are in? Death card. Phoenix. Makes sense. My Masters, no, we're not pulling off the top, please. My Masters, 1 card in clarity. Can you please clarify this crossing card of the Phoenix? And yes, absolutely, I can feel the liberation that's going to come from that, if it hasn't already. Right, this is all a divine timing thing. This the Leo with the dilettante archetype, if it's them, might not really know completely how to deal with all of this, but they're trying to find their balance, if that's them with that archetype. So please clarify this card of the Phoenix. Receiving the healing suit card of healing. So you are receiving transformation, receiving death. Now, what does that mean? That means that it's just that time, right? It's that time of transformation, of either going to or rising from ashes. Now, I'm going to say, if you've got the 2 of Pentacles, that you're balancing a loss, chances are you've already been to ashes and you're in the process of rising. Now, look, our entire society has gone to ashes and is just now maybe starting to rise, like a little phoenix wingtip over on the side, not too, right? We're getting there little by little by little. So in a way, you're really in tune. But with the healing card of receiving, what is it that you need to receive? Now, you may not know that. Oftentimes when we're going through an intense transformation, we don't have any idea what we want, let alone what we need, particularly when our wants and our needs get entangled in an unhealthy way. We think it's what we need, but it's really just what we want. is particularly in relationships, right? Particularly if it's something that we're supposed to be giving ourselves, but we want from somebody else. So do allow yourself some time to receive this, right? Divine timing, to just receive the transformation, that you don't have to like it. I'm not saying at least that you have to enjoy this process at all. In fact, you can hate every frickin' second of it. You can actively resist it if you want. I love you. You do you. You take your path, because you can't screw up the path of true love, particularly with divine timing. So I'm going to say, take your time. Allow yourself in this situation to receive. This sounds so like I want to throw up in my mouth when I say it, but receive the gift that this loss and transformation, that room is being made for new gifts to come in. And that sucks while you're in it. How do I know that? Because I just let go of somebody really important to me. But you know what? Some really cool people have popped into my life since that final thread was cut, with no guarantee that he ain't coming back again. So this is the path of true love. You got to be a hero on the path. Otherwise, stick with conditional love, right? Don't bother with the path of true love, the unconditional. True love conquers all and all of that. There are some links in the description box below talking about true love. And soulmates and soul contracts and twin flames and all that. Go check them out. Because the more you know, the more you know. Or I guess it's that way. Whatever. Very specific reference, but in the core, honey, you got the lovers. All right, so look, the chances of this being a deep love bond, I don't feel like someone has actually died, although where things are on planet Earth right now, wouldn't be shocked if somebody hadn't. I'm so sorry if a loved one has crossed as a result of what's going on planet Earth, or that they crossed over at all. We've all had people. Well, what is it? The 3Ds, death, divorce, or distance, right? Somebody always leaves, because nothing's permanent here in this world. Where we come from, everything's eternal. So at the core, there is still a very strong bond of love here, but there does talk about a life-changing decision. Now, I will say, this death card can absolutely mean that a deep unconscious or subconscious, or maybe perhaps hidden, a decision, because the Lover's card always talks about a life-changing decision. It's major arcana, trying to balance the head and the heart, that may be triggering this transformation on the outside. In other words, there might be a soul contract at work here that's saying, okay, look, it's time for you to do this. Whether it's be with somebody or lose somebody so that you can be with somebody, but you have to go through the fires of transformation. You just have to. You have to burn off the old stuff. Yeah, you can take some, of course you're going to take some stuff with you from one relationship to the next. But do you really want to bring your mother or father issues into a romantic relationship? You see what I mean? It's like you want to clean the frying pan from the fish the night before you make the scrambled eggs in the morning. That's very Louise Hay, by the way. You can heal your life. Louise, is that you? Oh, God, her people would be so pissed to find out that she's channeling through a gay witch that's not a Hay House author. I put this in the wrong position. So let's see what clarifies this Lover's card. I know, probably the head of Hay House just probably like, ooh, what was that? I would love to be a Hay House author, but I just have the worst potty mouth most time. I mean, I can clean it up for YouTube because I'm having fun. Plus, they don't want witches. I bet you anything, they really don't want witches working for them. They may have one or two. They don't want, right? But I'm cute. Breathe. Let's keep it sunny, keep it funny, keep it gay. Okay. Made my Ascended Masters chuckle. Please, my Ascended Masters, clarify this Lover's card, please, for this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. It's at the core, so it might be something they're not aware of. Can be subconscious influences. What is this Lover's card? Just one, please. What is this Lover's card about? Please clarify. And not only do you have receiving, you have giving oneself. Another healing card. So a problem card and two healing cards. So I'm going to say the decision is probably about giving oneself, giving of yourself. I don't feel like in a sacrificial way, slitting your throat, I don't mean that. I mean like, oh here, just, not a martyring thing, but a thing of part of your, it's interesting, you've got the giving and the receiving. Literally, the giving of oneself and the receiving is part of your healing here. But I don't know, I just get the feeling that, and I don't know if this is for everybody, this is for somebody, It feels like you so want to make the decision to give, but you are so afraid that it won't be received. Don't worry, the situation is transforming. It will be received. Even if it's silent prayer, but no, it feels like this is life-changing. Are you waiting for an appropriate amount of time to go by? And that's what you're juggling this loss while you're going through the fires of transformation, so that you can give of yourself. And it feels like of love. And just because it's the lovers doesn't mean it's romantic sexual, but it kind of feels, it's starting to catch in that whiff, that tea rose scent. Where are you from the past? Sorrow. Yeah. So sure, there's loss. There it is. I mean, when I pop up the spread at the end, you can see it, the linearness of it. But the Four of Cups, right? Those spilled cups, still one full, upstanding behind you that you're not aware of. But definitely there are some tears been shed here. Now, really, the Four of Cups need not only mean sorrow. It can mean discontent. It can mean boredom. But with that card of loss, literally in the first position that you're still juggling that, there's definitely an emotional purge. Now, look, fire signs, well, I guess it depends on the other, planets and signs in your chart. But Leos tend to not like to show their sadness, right? They don't mind showing their joy, their happiness, their courage. Liquid or otherwise. Get drunk with Leos. It's fun to watch. Sorrow not so much. So you might still be balancing some of that emotional baggage. So my Ascended Masters, can you please give us a card in clarity for this Four of Cups for the Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Path of True Love, July 2020. Oh, almost had that one. July 2020 or Timeless. With cynicism, you haven't really processed this loss. You might very much be like, yeah, well, this is what it is, and men suck, or women stupid, right? Usually cynicism has a little bit more of an adult tone to it, but that is kind of the energy. And I love this card when it comes out. I mean, it's a horrible card, but it makes me laugh. Two people canoodling on a bench, and a woman emptying her trash can on top of them, right? But if you look at it, there's no food in it. It's all pieces of paper. So she's at work. Maybe she's having a bad day. Well, who's having a good day? Now, mind you, this deck puts cynicism purely in a negative light, but there is a healthy cynicism. And one that, let's not forget, we've got the the dilettante here with divine timing. So as you give this time, it's okay to be cynical in a process of loss, right? Because it's a coping mechanism, but it's not going to heal you, is the thing. If someone says, oh, look here, drink this and it will make all your heartbreak go away. You know what I mean? It's unless you're really in pain, and then you'll guzz it down, so keep an eye. You'd rather have your cynicism through that, but this does make a lot of sense. But the decision to give yourself, I do feel like there is a love that you're wanting to give yourself to, but did you screw something up here? Let's see, what's your crowning card? What comes next? Ten of Pentacles. Now, for some of you, this loss might have had some financial stuff to it, right? You are going to rebuild. What's coming for you is not just the rebuilding, the solidification of your foundation. I mean, you can go symbolic with pentacles, but for me, they've always been physical form. I'm an earth sign. So 10 of Pentacles is the harvest. So you may very well be ending a cycle, but I don't feel like you're ending a cycle because it's the end of the cycle of the element of earth, but that you are reaping what you have sown for good or ill. And usually the 10 of Pentacles gives an indication of something more positive than negative. But let's look. Let's see what the Masters have to say. My Masters, please, one card in clarity. Please clarify this 10 of Pentacles, the harvest crowning card here for this Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love, July 2020, or Timeless. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They said you are not part of this. This is not my read. That's nice of them to tell me. They rarely do. They're like, yes. Openness. Openness is a luck card. So I'm going to tell you, the vibe that I get here, considering that at least in the first 5 cards, we still got one more to go in the cross, and then we'll do the staff. the problems seem to be in the past, but you're still dealing with them in the present. But your alignment of the core, the cross, and the crown, very positive. Even though you've got the death card there, you've got the lovers, the death card, and the 10 of pentacles in your vertical trajectory. So that's really good. Like in this present moment, if you will, things are transforming, but bringing you to a place. Like the next thing that comes is maybe you gaining the wisdom from this experience of the 10 of pentacles in a way that you'll always have, right? Something that has made you stronger. It did not kill you. It's making you stronger. There is a benefit to the loss that you have been through. And I don't feel like it's, okay. Well, if loss makes room for, loss is a reminder that room has been made for more gifts to be received. It's literally a mantra from the KAHN Healing Mantra deck, which will be the last card down in this reading. But it then feels like you are open to your 10 of pentacles, and it feels like you are going to be, I don't want to use the word compensated necessarily, but that it's going to, thank you, balance. Got it. Okay. Got it. Good. So you're okay. What's coming before you? What's before you on the path? Now, 7 of Cups in this deck is called jealousy, and sometimes I do feel the jealousy, sometimes I don't. I don't feel the jealousy on this, at least not here. It's a third eye thing, jealousy and envy. It's all mental, but it definitely has an emotional piece to it, hence the water aspect. It's a cup card, but 7 of Cups is fantasy. Now, sometimes fantasies do come true. It's the 7 of Cups in the Rider-Waite Tarot, castles in the cloud, cups in the clouds, right? There's a castle in one of them, there's like a dragon in another. It's the things that we think will make us happy and we can get excited about them. It can be visualization. It can also be delusion, right? It can be visualize, moisturize, and visualize, right? But it can also mean, as a result of that, imagining things that upset you emotionally, which happens, right? Worst case scenario, best case scenario, what is the truth? It's a divine timing issue. Careful with your divine timing. By the way, divine timing doesn't always mean it goes slow. Sometimes divine timing means it happens way faster than you think you're able to handle it for, but that's part of your growth too. So my masters, would you please clarify this 7 of Cups for this Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for July 2020 or timeless? What have you got? What is the nature of this 7 of Cups emotion for them that is before them, coming to them on the path ahead? Defensiveness. So look, 7 of Cups, right? It's not saying that what you're feeling is necessarily grounded in reality. And, ooh, God, the feeling of defensiveness on this. A little different than independence, which has an unhealthy ring to it. There is an independence card in this deck, and it's a problem card. This is really about having your dukes up. Now, it's one thing if you're defending a dream, and I mean like a life dream, a heart dream. Like, no, I'm going to do that. It doesn't, even if it kills me, right? I will manifest. I feel that way about a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, satisfying sexual soulmate contract. Sexual romantic soulmate contract, whether we're married or not, however that plays itself out. Like, I'm going to die on that hill. I'm just going to give it everything that I've got in this lifetime, because we've been working on it for hundreds of years, if not lifetimes, right? The romantic aspect, the healthy romantic relationship, fully manifested into form, is one of the hardest things to do on the path of true love, because it's so damn conditional. I love you exactly the way you are, but if you touch another person, I'll kill you in your sleep. You know, that's not love. That's fear. So with this thing of defensiveness, I'm going to give that as a semi-positive correlation between these two, or interpretation, where it's like you're going to defend your dream. But also it could be that you're feeling things that you're being defensive about that it's not helping. It's really, really not helping. I could see if you're moving from this 10 of Pentacles into a whole new living situation and you're a little, what's the word I want to use here? Emotionally sensitive. You're a Leo. You might rip someone's face off. Keep it behind the castle wall, but just be careful your defensive isn't keeping out the very good things that you have worked so hard to manifest in your life, or things that are just, it's time for them to come to you. Remember, call to the angel of divine timing, help, is what I say. I forget to say it a lot, but when I do, did you see that? My shoulders just go, it's like, don't fight time, kid. You can't. Time always wins. Father, or otherwise, Kronos, ate his kids. I love Greek men. What is the lesson? What do you learn in here? Ooh, such a Leo card. The play card. Bastet, the Egyptian solar cat goddess. Party. Karambo. Fiesta. Forever? Maybe for a while. So you're learning how to play. You're learning how to enjoy this somehow. And you know what? With the dilettante archetype, don't pretend you know what you're doing. Don't pretend to know more than you know. I don't know how to do this. Keep your humility about you. Then you can dip toes. Then you can try things. Then you can add to your warehouse of leonine fifth house pleasure, good fortune, creativity, stock, right? Like, build that up. Your wisdom. Learn. There's so much fun here for you to learn through. But let's see with my masters, please. Oh, come on. This is a really, really great card to get in the lesson. Unless it's really like, just play your role. Learn how to play your role. But that's not the vibe I get. I get that almost that crazy kitten energy. Like zooming all over the place. No, that's not a shoelace. Please, one card, my masters, please clarify this for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Well, and you're dealing with doubt. You're dealing with doubt. Your lesson. I'm getting so many different scenarios on this, how it could play itself out, and that's not my job, is to verbalize every scenario I see. But I will say that there is a lesson here that you are carrying a psychic weight with you, and maybe that psychic weight is what the Six of Cups is about, right? And that you're defending it. It's like you got a chip on your shoulder, and it's making you doubt your fun, right? Doubt having fun. Did you really screw up? Are you willing to make amends, or has somebody done you so dirty and that you're still in that process of loss and grieving and going through a process of transformation that you really have doubts about ever playing around again? Can be that way. Like, I could feel that as a scenario, but we'll keep going. We're not done. From the outside looking in, how does your path look? The Leo card of strength. Come on. Come on. From the outside looking in, this is a very leonine path of true love that you're going through for this month. May not always be that way, but it is one of courage, courage. The French word for the heart is cœur. That's where the word comes from, right? Courage, bravery, emotional fortitude, that kind of strength. To not subdue the lioness or let this lioness destroy you, rip you apart, but rather to walk beside, to ride it. Not so much to tame it, that its spirit goes away, but to learn how to channel that energy. I really feel like, just 1, 2, 3 major arcana cards out of 8 isn't a great big huge deal. But I'm going to say these 3 major arcana cards kind of are, right? The Lovers, the Strength, and the Phoenix, the Death card, definitely speak something to me. Let's look. From the outside looking in, my masters, can you please clarify for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs? Please clarify that Strength card of how the path of true love looks like for them from the point of view of the world. Horizontal trajectory. Love. You're walking the path of true love, but one of courage. You have to have the courage. You may have to roar. You may have to actually tell somebody you love them. You might actually get that you are being given. Thank you. How does one develop courage on the hero's journey without challenge, without monsters, without their fears coming up, without their fears being embodied in monsters? human or otherwise, right? Well, darling, you've got the grace card. This is the grace card of love. There is love from the outside looking in, the grace of love. Love is you could call this almost like the true love card, although there is a true love card in this deck, but it's a luck suit. The grace of love. The grace of love is like the grace of divine healing. Love is divine power, the sacred truth of the heart chakra, man. Read Anatomy of the Spirit by Carolyn Mace, right? That's so brilliant. Now I want this to be my reading. They're like, nope, this ain't you. Let's see what your destiny is now. Destiny is what the hero achieves, alchemizes when facing their fate. Fate is what you're given. Destiny is what you do with it if you learn, heal, grow, and take the hero's journey. Well, it either involves a Sagittarius, someone like a Sagittarius, or this is about your spirituality and expansion, your 9th house stuff, your Sagittarian stuff, mutable fire, right? That right now, where you are, it's about activating your desires. There are things that you want. And nothing like the expansive, rollicking, playful Sagittarian energy to do that, whether that's a Sagittarius sun, moon, rising, Mars, Jupiter, who cares? But that archer vibe, right? That bow and arrow, hunting, maybe that is part of you getting your life together after this loss. Let's look. Let's look. I mean, this path of true love. So one's going to suspect that the loss that you have there is a loss of love. And that's the loss of someone in your life, perhaps that you've lost again through distance, divorce, or death. Distance, they move away, but the worst kind of distance is when they're in the same room and they're a million miles away and you're a million miles away. That's the worst one. That's slow torture. So, my masters, can you please clarify what this Sagittarian card here is in their destiny position for this Leo collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for July 2020. 10,000 cards. July 2020 or timeless, please. That one, we'll take that one. Yeah, there seems to be a bit of a thing here with the problems. Lack of self-worth. Now, you might be dealing with somebody who's got the lack of self-worth, and keep in mind, the dilettante in its shadow, pretending to know more than it knows, could be a lack of self-worth vibe here. But if you are really dealing with a lack of self-worth within yourself, which is really what this position would more indicate, this is your path of true love, really look at what you want. And is it what you want you feel like you're not worthy of? Because I don't believe that's true. I mean, I don't believe that's true of anybody. People say, oh, they're out of my league. Not on a soul level. And if you got a contract with somebody, you're like making this much harder. Just go say hello. Or if you screwed up and you're like, oh, I'm not worthy, just say you're sorry and make amends and start over. At least, see, here's what the guides are saying. They're like, look, you're going to croak eventually anyway. Whether it's tomorrow, 20 years from now, 30 years, 100 years from now, or with medical science, we don't know how long we're going to live. It could be forever, right? You're going to croak eventually anyway, and then you're going to regret not saying it, and you're going to want to come back and say it to them. So say it to them. Even if they slam the door in your face. I know, rough. But you are also, the situation is, see, I don't get that. If this is all relationship-based, I don't get that it's just you going through the fire. I feel like you are both receiving a nice dose of transformation in your lives. And hopefully what's transforming for you is the lack of self-worth. Now, only the ego could have a lack of self-worth because the soul knows it's divine. So those moments where you are love, there's just none of that, right? When you embody the love that you are, feel the love, it's like there's none of that lack of self-worth. The lack of self-worth usually comes in afterwards because love unravels the ego. Right? Yeah, it puts it in the cocoon so the caterpillar can become the butterfly of the soul. So poetic. Give me a headache. What's your outcome card on this? Sorry, High Priestess. They're not telling you. I mean, unless you are so wickedly intuitive that you're like, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen. But nah, the High Priestess. Turn to your gods. Be a channel through which the divine can work through, right? Pray, meditate, follow your intuition bravely and for love. that is now, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcana cards. Okay, 4 out of 10, not huge. But again, it's the High Priestess ending this. When the High Priestess ends a Celtic cross spread, it's like, oh, the gods are at work, but you're not supposed to know how. Why? Divine timing. So don't pretend to know what you don't know, right? But can you delight in this without having to be a professional about it? Can you be like, all right, let's just see the game. Let's play the game. But you have your doubts. I don't know. I feel like things are going to work out really well for you. Let's see if we can get a clarifying card for the High Priestess, being that it's such a card of mysticism and mystery, the subconscious and the intuition, the most beautiful woman in the world that no man can have because she belongs to the gods. Like that sort of deal. Breathe. My Ascended Masters, if you can, if you would, if you're allowed to. I think you guys are allowed to do everything. But if you can, please clarify this Priestess card, this High Priestess card, in the outcome position for this Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus on July 2020, please. Last card in my hand is Using. And this card has been coming up a lot. Look. You're being used. You're being used by the divine is what that says to me. This whole relationship, this whole path of true love, whatever this is, scripted. It's all in divine timing. I'm going to tell you, I don't think you've done anything wrong. Whatever this loss was, whether it comes back around as a new person or the same person, yes, there's some stuff you need to do here. There are some risks that you need to take here. But if it's all in divine timing, you're going to do it anyway. So this is really about, can you take the path of courage? Can you be a hero rather than a villain on the path of true love? And that sounds like an easy thing to do, but it ain't. But it ain't, but it ain't, but it ain't. But it ain't, but it ain't, but it ain't. There, I just gave you a hero, kind of. The Lone Ranger. He's hot. Woof. All right, Silver Bullet. There's your Celtic Cross. You got 2 more cards down. An Oracle card, the Whisper of Love Oracle, as well as the Healing Mantra card will come. We'll end with that, and then I'll pop up the picture and do a summation. Cool, an overview. Breathe. The higher selves of all involved, please speak through this deck, the Whispers of Love Oracle. What is the insight, the clarity, the guidance, the grace for this Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love for July 2020, considering we've got the dilettante and the divine timing? There's a lot going on. It's Celtic Cross spread. There's always going to be a lot going on in a Celtic Cross. So please, the higher selves of all involved, mine as well. If I'm in this one, I'm not feeling that I am, and was told I wasn't, but just in case, please, what is the Whisper of Love for the Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs on the path of true love, July 2020, or timeless? 2 cards. Damn it, humidity. I won't take 2. Please, what is their one card? Their Whisper of Love. There we go. Slow down. Slow down. You move too fast. You got to make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones. Looking for fun and feeling groovy. I want to get into the groove. I want to kind of more Madonna than Simon and Garfunkel. Slow down. When you are excited, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to unfold. That's cold on the nose, right? This is very this. This is very this, particularly, I mean, look, the card of using in your outcome position there with the High Priestess, yes, could mean that you're being used or you're using somebody. And if that is the case, you're not going to really know about it right away anyway, because it is the card of the High Priestess. Things are veiled. Unless your gut is really screaming. And by the way, it's an outcome card. The 6th and the 10th position can always be changed unless, of course, it can't be just scripted that way. Couldn't happen any other way. But the vibe that I get here is slow your roll. Because if you can really reconcile that lack of self-worth thing that's going on for you here, it's really hard to use somebody when they've kind of dealt with that stuff. Because they could say, Well, you might have used me once, but you just lost accent. Canceled, right? Yeah, because you have more to give, right? Giving of oneself is the decision you got here. But if you have used somebody, that's part of this. Sorry. Sorry, just had a Phoebe Halliwell there. That's what I'm going to call those from now on. We'll just call them Phoebe Halliwell. It's not like I'm calling them Melissa Milano. It's a fictional character. Breathe. Although someone sent me a picture of Dame Judi Dench today. They said, you just denched me. Come on, coach. Don't dench me. My Ascended Masters, please, before this reading goes on another hour, one card in clarity, there you are, for this Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. What is their perfect healing mantra? Because really, Path of True Love is about healing, right? Healing the self through relationships, healing relationships with the soul integrates and all that. So please, what is the perfect healing mantra for this Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the Path of True Love, July 2020, or Timeless? That's the one. Polishing my heart, as opposed to unbreaking it. Feeling is a power that helps me heal. Leo, you're going to have to feel some shit. Sorry. You're going to have to feel your emotions, and not just the fun ones. You might very well have to feel... I mean, that's why we take bodies. Terry Pratchett, brilliant author, unfortunately crossed over. I love him forever. He's my favorite fiction author ever. He made a point, I can't quote him, but apparently he kind of says that you need bodies to have emotions at a certain extent. It's like, and I'll rephrase this, I'll say this my way. It's really hard to get angry without adrenaline, right? You need adrenal glands for that. So you came in for the entire spectrum of emotions, not just the ones you like. And if you truncate, avoid the lower scale, you don't get to feel the upper higher scale. You need the full realm. Feeling is a power that helps me heal. Let me read you from the bookie of the book. The bookie book. Polishing my heart. Here we go. Courage, the heart. Feeling is a power that helps me heal. When your heart is polished, you are able to honor each emotion for its potent healing properties, right? So every emotion has a potent healing property. It just doesn't feel that way when it's coursing through your veins. A polished heart doesn't take sides, cast blame, or maintain grudges. Like, think a rock tumbler. Right? You go through it, but you come out so polished and so smooth that you don't even hold grudges or cast blame, because you get, it's like, no, this was for my transformation, right? It's like this, it couldn't have happened any other way. It faces life openly, willing to feel whatever sensation life may inspire, like courage or the strength card or something, just for the chance to transform into higher aspects of perfection. This mantra is ideal for unraveling emotional stuckness, easing worry, and cultivating bravery. All right, you got the right reads. These are the right cards. Let's pop up the picture and see what else we can see now that every piece of the puzzle is on the table, shall we? Magic clap. Because somewhere in this, you, another, or the situation itself is the dilettante archetype, or has the dilettante archetype, the shadow attribute, pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. The light attribute delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits, which, you know, doesn't immediately apply itself to this Two of Pentacles in the cover position here, the bull leapers with balance because of a loss. Now, it might be that you dabbled with somebody and it didn't go that way, but I'm not really getting that. I'm feeling like that might be a more overall archetype, but that where you are on the path of true love is really trying to find your balance as a result of a loss. But the situation that you're in is the major arcana card, the death card in this deck, the Phoenix, but with receiving. So you are actually receiving receiving more than has been lost. Oh my God, I get it. What you are receiving spiritually way bigger than what was lost. And within you now is this life-changing decision about love, whether or not to give of your love, to give of oneself. It does feel like you're in love with somebody. It does feel like, or at least you have love for somebody, but that you haven't quite made the decision now that whatever has been lost to kind of like go ahead, because the flames haven't died down yet, right? The transformation is not complete. The new path has not completely shown itself yet, hence the slow down. I get that part with the divine timing. But where you're coming from the past, as I said, with this loss is sorrow, with cynicism. Watch out for that cynicism. It's just a delaying tactic. Yes, it's a coping mechanism for a while, but when it becomes maintained in a toxic sense, well, love is a many splendored thing. It's a pain in the ass. Yeah, true love, yeah. That and $5 will get me a Starbucks. Be careful of that, because it's just going to delay your healing and stretch this out longer than necessary, and the gods will just extend the divine timing timeline until that's healed. Not that you can speed it up, but I could see how you could slow this down with too much cynicism. That's part of your healing. And of course, moving into the 5th position, 10 of Pentacles, with the harvest and openness, this could be returning to home in a way. This could be like returning to a sense of home, of people who love you and who get you, and this openness and this welcomeness. But in many, many different ways. I also do get a stronger feeling of a stabilization of finances somehow as the result of this. That will allow you from the 10 to complete that cycle and begin again with the Ace of Pentacles with a new seed. But what's before you in the future, so this is sort of your next thing to deal with, is this card of the 7 of Cups. Right? Can be illusion, delusion, fantasy, can even be premonitory, it's a big word, premonition-oriented, but there is a defensiveness in you about this. So I would say if you're not sure how or what this 7 of Cups pertains to, keep an eye on your cynicism about the past or going on right now, and your defensiveness. Like, I would see those not just as problems, but as alarms, right? It's like, okay, here's that 7 of Cups you're dealing with, and when you're feeling cynical about your sorrow, okay, I'm putting the foot on the brake. And by the way, don't beat yourself up about that too, considering your higher self is saying slow down. That's your cross. Your staff here, the 7th position of the lesson is play, but you have doubts about that too. And with that defensiveness and the cynicism over the loss, that does make sense. But you can learn how to play your role through this, and maybe even to enjoy yourself, because from the outside looking in, your path looks like the path of true love, but you're learning lessons of courage, of being a hero rather than a villain, of not skulking around, doing things in the shadow, but coming out into the light. Now, where you are on the hero's journey with all of this on the path of true love is a transformation, right? We've got the Crone of Flames, Sagittarius, Ceridwen, I've heard her name said so many different ways, is a goddess of transformation. Her main symbol usually being the cauldron, right? The cauldron of transformation, fueled by that Sagittarian transformative mutable fire. But with lack of self-worth here, it feels like you really could rise to this occasion, get what you want, but you're so afraid that you don't have the stuff to do it. And granted, coming from a loss perhaps of a magnitude that you went through, if it has not all been processed, I could see that right now, maybe for the month, you don't have the lack of that you have a little bit of lack of self-worth in here, or maybe a lot. That's like a cross you are bearing, that you're not worthy, you're not good enough, you're a bad person. You did something wrong. Oh my God, really? These words so rarely come out of my mouth. You sinned, so that's a heavy word here. My gods don't play that game, but maybe yours do. That there's just something here that maybe you have to prove your worth. And that's definitely part of the hero's journey, by the way. And moving into your 10th position there, a card of mystery, the High Priestess, with the card of using, which I love the feel of, that the gods are using you, right? It's like there's no other card that they really could have used in this deck to kind of say that you are being used, prepared perhaps as a priest or a priestess of true love, which is what all of us will be eventually, because channels of divine love, that's what we came here to be, for the transformation of planet Earth. But what, you think we're What, you think we don't have to heal our relationships for that to happen, honey? Oh, honey. So what does your higher self say? Slow down. When you're excited, you get afraid, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to unfold. And what to do in the meantime? Polish your heart. Feeling is a power that helps me heal. And as you heal, I don't know, I just get the feeling that if there is someone that you really are in a life-changing decision about whether to, I don't know, offer apology, give of yourself, maybe say, I'm free now, I will do everything I can to make this work. That's a real giving of yourself from a soul place. You might not be wholly aware of that feeling right now, meaning that it is in the third position, the subconscious, or at the core of the path for you. But while you are going through this balancing of loss and this phoenix transformation that you are receiving something amazing from, remember to stay open, keep your eye on your cynicism and your defensiveness as you learn how to play regardless of your doubts. It's a lot of moving pieces here, but you're Leo, right? Really, really lovely. So may the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need on the path of true love for July 2020, are timeless, to heal, to grow, to learn, to become the best that they can be, and fulfill their role in the divine plan with divine timing. And to dip toes, to take their time with this, to slow down for their well-being and for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment if this is clicking for you. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of July 2020, or whenever you're watching this, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.